Alright, chat, I gotta get to streaming. I think I got everything I need. So we'll go over the market that was, we'll go over the trades, maybe take a look at the things that have already had earnings, look at upcoming earnings. Yeah, that's kind of what we'll do. Alright, get to it. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Actually, let's just go to Koyfin. We could start there. Start at Koyfin. See if this works. It does work. Yay! Okay. Alright, 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 let's go ahead and go to the market that was. So up 6%, up 4.5%, 4%. So we're up, and I think we're up based on what I had here for the past 2 weeks. So we're coming into that third week, so it's been down all the way up until about here. Until, I guess you can't see it, but April 7th, the week of April 7th, everything's been down. Past 2 weeks have been up. So we'll see what this week brings. If we look at our longer time frame, so if we go out to 1 month, we're still down on the 1 month. So we can maybe, best case scenario, maybe we break, what is it? There's only what? How many more days in the month? There's 3 trading days in April left, so it's possible we come back up to even if with earnings. For the 3 months, we're still down in correction, close to correction territory. So the Russell, the NDX, the Dow, and S&P. 6 months looking a little better. 1 year, if we count it from last year, we're still went through a little dip here, but we're back above it. Year to date, I think the Russell's the only thing really in correction territory. So year to date, we're down about 5 to 7%. So not crazy. I think we're off those lows, so we'll have to see what transpires. Listen, Wilsif Runty. Have to do it differently. Wills. There we go. Only shows up on Twitch. It's funny. Got the multi-stream chat going on. It's funny because you can't see it, just says Wilsif Runty. Alright, so we got that taken care of. Let's go ahead and look at the sectors. So US equities. Yeah, add biotech on there. Throw that on there. Gold miners, ITB's home builders, oil services carry. Okay, let's go ahead and make it big. I kind of hate that I have to do this every single freaking time. But that's okay. Just gotta be. No grapevines. There we go. Alright, so the week that was. Take a screenshot of this. Okay. So SMH is up. XLK was up. We did have Google earnings, and those were decent, so that kind of helped with probably XLK, XLC. Those are all up on the week. Who was down? So OIH, oil services, staples, so a little bit of a rotation out of the big heavy things there. 1 month, the gold's still up, but then you see here that XLP is still up, XLU is up, and then everything else is still negative. Still here, gold, staples, utilities, not even utilities, just gold and staples. Those are still up. 6 month, we still see, so we have communications, financials, staples. 1 year, utilities, financials, communications. The real estate's kind of is doing all right. SPY is still okay. Everything is kind of getting better. Energy's still way down. Healthcare's down on the year. It kind of stays in that flat line. SMH needs to pick it up. I don't know how, like, I mean, who does well in a high tariff regime? I mean, technically that's only a one-time thing, but then like over time, so it's like gonna hit and then all the prices go up and then they just stay there. They don't come back down. And they'll stay there. Like, these things are sticky. They don't, the previous tariffs that were on before are still on, and then we're going to add to them. And we're going to add to it across the board with some percentage. I don't know what this will be, but honestly, things will be more expensive. Yeah. So everything will be more expensive. It's like, who benefit? Well, the thing is, I guess, like, you think about the tech companies, like, yeah, their products to, but then I also think too, like, even if it's not something that you find in a store, I think because prices go up, it's like, well, there's the justification to raise our prices again. And it's just this continuing spiral of upward prices until something gives. Sadly. I think that's all that happens there. It's just this kind of crazy spiral. Buy the dip, baby. Energy's still up big though. I mean, if you think of it in the long term here, the 5-year outlook, this is just a dip. How far did we dip? Anyway, going back to more recent ideas here. Now we still see these things in the lead. These are still down. They need to pick it up. I think this week might be pretty telling if we could do that. But then I think next week we have a Fed meeting, so so that means that the Fed is in the blackout period probably this week. So you probably won't hear anything from them. It'll all be Trump that you'd hear from. And then earnings. So Trump and earnings. That's, I think, the main things to look out for. But let's go ahead and take a picture of this. The 5-day. Did have a switch on that 5-day. I mean, 10 days, what, 2 weeks? So I said it's up for 2 weeks. What's XME again? XME is the metals. Metals, real estate, home builders. Is that Home Builders? IBB? Biotech. That's biotech. Never mind. Biotech. Semis. XLK. XLE. It's weird. Those are maybe because Gat Oil was up. BNQ. Real estate. Okay. XLY. I think Tesla was back up. XLF. Yeah, everything's up on the 10-day too. Still somewhat like defensive though if you think about like energy. You know, tech had a bit of a rally. So the past 2 weeks have been up. So we'll see if this week maybe it'll be up too. I think, you know, earnings themselves aren't going to be bad, but I don't know what kind of guidance will be given. We have to wait on news, you know, related to the war in Ukraine and related to tariffs. So we'll see what happens there. Do I have any ideas right now? So I have a Bitcoin IBIT. I have some bags that I'd like to get rid of. It'd be so nice to get rid of some of these bags, but I don't know if that will happen. I think we have Walmart earnings this week. See what happens there. That's your friend in a recession there. I have some Q shorts that are probably gonna kill me. But that's my only negative exposure to the market. And then it's just some bags I'd like to get rid of. I'd like to get rid of at least 2 bags and then redeploy. See what I could do there. There we go. There you go. We got the lighting director in here. A little hard on the eyes. Here we go. Want it to be green. I guess try to get rid of some of the bags. There's kind of a general uplift in the market. So if we go up for a week, we'd be looking maybe to go long, sell some puts, because volatility is still decently high. Volatility ended the week at 23, so still above average. But less than 40. So that's good. So volatility did come in. I think the normal average for volatility is somewhere around like less than 20. So we'll see what happens there. Probably look to go long until we reach the levels of like, I guess the levels that we were at before, because we haven't fully, like on the TQQ, I'm looking at it, we haven't fully realized the loss or totally retracing the Trump Liberation Day situation. So we haven't quite gotten there yet. I think we're almost there. It looks like, I don't know, I could throw the Fibonacci on there, see where we're at. Get the exact number here. So from high to low, we're at about 61.8 in that retracement. So to me, that's kind of like no man's land, but we'll just take it kind of day by day. There might have been people, you know, totally taken off guard once we get back up to those Liberation Day levels. Maybe you see selling there because people weren't able to get out. and the market is throwing them, you know, a bone. Hey, you know, here you go if you want to get out. But we'll have to see. I'll just take it the way that I see it. It's like if we're above VWAP, we're above our moving averages. You know, I'll stay positive. If we start to fall below any of that, you know, we'll go short again. Because, I mean, that's kind of where we are. None of this stuff has actually hit yet. So that's the crazy thing about all this, is that it hasn't, it's all speculation at this point, and the market's already doing this. And it's supposed to be a forward-looking, you know, it's supposed to account for that, but it's like, you know, part of that is being able to plan, and that doesn't sound like what companies, that's what they can do now. And so if they can't plan, then I don't know how models work and how you figure all that out, because I don't think any of the models that anybody has accounted for this craziness. Like, maybe to some extent. And you look at these daily charts, like, I mean, I just, these daily charts don't look good. Like, they just don't. They just don't look good. I mean, this is the TQQQ, like, I mean, maybe this is like a inverse head and shoulders, and so you got to break this neckline. So you got to break above 53, and then maybe you go here, but then what happens at 58? Do you go short there? And that should be past earnings. So if it does come up here, what did we come up here? I mean, all-time high was up here. Are we going back to 93? 93 go back up to all-time highs with more tariffs and more this, more that. I mean, I don't know. Unless people start making more money. But aren't people like losing their jobs? So there's a lot of push and pull here. Like, but we did have 3 up days. You know, we have till here. That's what, $5. That's a week. You know, maybe it ends right here and then it leaves you hanging like, ooh, what are we gonna do from here? Are we gonna go above the 200 or are we gonna go back down below it? I don't know. $35 was probably a place to buy, though. I mean, wherever it ends up, that's probably was a place to buy. How are people not going to short when it comes here if the news doesn't change when it gets to 60? I mean, I think there has to be a narrative shift. The story has to change. If the story doesn't change and it gets up here, I'm selling calls. There's plan 1. You know, I'll take it day by day here. I don't know that I'm going to commit too much down here. Like, and let's look at QQQ, because that's what I actually have a position in. This did make it. Okay, so the TQQQ is a little bit behind. So the triple Qs themselves did make it up to their 200. So this is a little bit different. My shit's all the way up here. It's just gonna blow through my call spread. Like, that's so lame. I mean, there is a gap down here, but that's the same gap. There's the same gap right in here. So it's filled these 2 gaps. Bitcoin is higher this evening or this afternoon. Man, that call spread's gonna kill me, yo. Because it will go up and above here. My call spread's like right here. Like, don't trade above this number. Man, I'm gonna take some pain. Ugh, this is gonna kill me. I shouldn't have taken such big size. Took 3 contracts or 3. trying to be a Hulk and like go for it. Like, that wasn't the best plan. I'll just say that. And the only way to kind of negate it is if we keep going up, I could maybe offset it by basically setting up put spreads. Yeah. So the guess is that it probably gaps up here. It's probably going to open at like 474 and then kind of trade in here, and then it'll test my strikes. No doubt. No doubt about it. Can I make it through the next 3 days without having to undo my gains for the month? I don't know. Maybe this was the bottom. Because we have gone up $72 since then. 72 points. Since that moment. On some volume. So a decent amount of volume on those 2 days. But we shall see. I guess if we get a close above here, you know, we shall see. We shall see on that. Kind of crazy this hasn't made that up there. This hasn't come up to here though. Hasn't filled the gap fully yet. So this probably has a little ways to go. Maybe it gaps up here. So yeah, I guess in the short term it is kind of a positive bias until we get up and through and over these lines here. I guess that's what I'll say for the week. Maybe just a slightly positive bias. Earnings could change all that, like, you know, day to day. So I think, you know, as I can even break even on my cues, I'll try. I don't know. Probably dug myself a nice little hole here. But maybe focus on going long when I can and just taking it kind of, I guess it's just kind of day by day. Right now I don't have any long-term ideas. But I do need to get this copied. So let's go ahead and get that in there. You know, what might continue to have success in the uncertainty. So it's going to be things that aren't as necessarily exposed to the tariffs. So that might still mean, you know, like Google could still do well. They did well after earnings. It sold off a little bit, but maybe you see some continued strength there. Although, aren't they in some sort of antitrust lawsuit where they have to break up their, like, they want them to sell Google Chrome? And then I don't know what's at risk as far as their ad situation, because they basically own their whole ad universe. Like, there's no way to break through it. And so I think they're trying to break that up. Also, Meta is in an antitrust case, which of course nobody's talking about. Which I don't know. I mean, I don't know if, because they have to prove, I guess, that not only about how they're a monopoly, and then there's one other thing that they have to be, that it's, that they're in the lawsuits. Oh, the FTC. So it alleges that that Meta illegally acquired Instagram and WhatsApp to maintain a monopoly in social media rather than competing fairly. to improve and grow them alongside Facebook. A win by the FTC could force CEO Mike Zuckerberg to break up the company. That could include spinning off. So, he'll just make it independent again? FTC says the company overpaid when it acquired Instagram. 2 years later, it purchased the WhatsApp for 19 billion. Man, Instagram, they only got $1 billion. WhatsApp got 19. That's crazy. FTC argument is that the acquisition of Instagram was a way of neutralizing this rising competitive threat to Facebook. You can't buy TikTok. I think, what is it? TikTok, and then it's Instagram, and then WhatsApp. Those are the three big ones. I think TikTok's first though. We're in the minority on the 5 seats until Wednesday. Just 2 seats. So we moved to fire 2 until Wednesday. Just 2 seats of this. Just two seats of those. And da-da-da. Google's search monopoly. Oh man, there's like how much. I don't know. Either way, they win. I don't think that they really lose in any particular way. Let's go to the stocks now. The gainers for the week on market cap. So our big boys, the big boys are back in. We got Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Google, Meta. You know, Berkshire Hathaway, yo, maybe just buy some calls into Berkey B. This thing hasn't gone down through this entire downturn. Oh, and Tesla's back. Look at little Tesla doing its thing. Little Tesla doing its thing. Yay. Tesla. No, you can start saying Tesla instead of Tesla. Tesla, just say, piss everybody off, say Tesla. Like Twizzler. Big boys are back, baby. Don't discount the big boys. Man, Amazon always takes a crap on earnings though, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, it doesn't always, but losers, weak, market cap, UNH. Oh, our defensives. Do we have a rotation? Is it a rotation, everybody? So the thing that I looked at all these. Look these all up because I was like, oh man, we got to get in, you know. RTX is better, but the rest of these options suck. So you can't really do options. They're kind of expensive to buy. Kind of the only thing maybe is Coca-Cola, but are you really getting enough premium there to sell premium or do anything like that? Not really. So all of these, all you can really do is kind of like covered calls, or you buy calls or something like that. Like you can't, there isn't, the spreads are so wide, and it's like, I don't know, they're not as exciting. They're just, it's just not. Like, I think the only thing, I was looking at Procter & Gamble, and like I think it was like 30-cent wide options. Like, I was thinking, oh, maybe I sell a put spread or something, but I didn't like the options on it. And I mean, I guess I could just do a covered call, but then it's like you're using up all your capital. Oh boy, I'm breathing all that in. No, I'm worried about like this or that little occasional activities. I mean, day to day, we're breathing that in. Like, does it matter? Like, all right, so what's our overall situation here? Everybody, let's review once more. Review. Everybody, let's get our review minds on. Market's been up for 2 weeks straight. Last week, the big boys were in charge. This week, the big boys have earnings. So that might change. We shall see. I still need to listen to an earnings call. I haven't done that yet. That was my goal. Still need to listen to an earnings call. We'll look at earnings. I'll at least do that. I need to listen to at least one earnings call. I should get that Quarter app back on my phone so that I don't have an excuse. I could look at the transcripts. Just go online right now and just see what that's all about here. I wonder if you can, what's it called? Quarter? It's not spelled like, spelled like, something like that. Yeah, it's Q-U-A-R-T-R. They get rid of the E. It's an app that aggregates all the earnings, and it gives you the transcripts, the slideshows, and the audio. Quarter. Q-U-A-R-T-R. Yeah. Oh, it used to be free. Oh man, it used to be like free. Now you gotta pay for it. Oh, the mobile app is free. Oh, they want your data. The desktop version is not free. So I have to get it on my phone. I have to put it back on my phone. Honestly though, this might be something that's worth it. I need to make more money. Because it aggregates all the earnings calls, you get the transcripts, and that's where you really start using AI to just dig. Maybe they integrated AI into the desktop version. Yeah, you get the summaries and stuff. Yeah, this might be, I might have to think about making more money to add this to my situation. Or get rid of option strat, which I really don't use. And then maybe do this instead. Huh. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do that, chat. We'll do it later, but yeah. We'll get it on my phone first. We'll get back to using it, and then we'll take it from there. So what was I saying? Okay, market's up 2 weeks in a row. We have big earnings coming. Google earnings were okay. They were up 9% on the week, so that's a really good change. This week on the 1st, I think. Which is bad because I'm not, well, I don't do anything anyway, so like I want to do anything. And then these stocks, these defensive names were down for the week. Were they down last week? What was down last week? So last week were your big tech. And some defensives were still up. Let's see. The week before that, tech was up, and then you had some of your defensives were down. So it started. So the issues started around. So it's switched around April 14th. So I would assume we're gonna have the same rotation. So actually that would have been, so if we're looking, then it actually started here. So it started around April, the beginning of April. There was a bit of a switch. That we're buying these tech names and we're kind of selling our other names, the defensive names. Oh yeah, this one, like no borders and stuff. Like let's keep that going. Yeah, like fill the whole space, like, yeah, fill it up. All right, let's go ahead and look at my trades. So pulled off some profits this week. I think this isn't like it's adding up trades, so it's maybe a little deceptive there, but overall positive week. I mean, I should just double down on my TQQQ. Like, let's go. Like, this was a fantastic trade. Oh, wow. No, this is one trade. Wow, that was good. That was good. Yeah, it was a good trade. Well, that one's going in the short this week. That was put spread. So I think, you know, if we're going to go up, well, really, it's just about having the range. So, like, if we're gonna go up, like, maybe just setting it up so, like, it's the Qs are balanced out. Just have an Iron Condor, basically. I just have a little bit of a feeling, though, that maybe the worst is over with now. Hopefully, cross our fingers. I feel like, you know what? We already know that these. Is it at this point the tariffs can only come down? Is that kind of where we're at now? Like, we know what these high numbers are. You know, maybe the Fed rhetoric. So like this week, well, he can't say that he's going to fire Jerome Powell anymore because he already said he wasn't going to fire Jerome Powell. So I don't think you're going to hear that. The Fed can't say anything because they are in their blackout period. So it's really just earnings. It's earnings and the earnings outlook for these companies. I think that's all we have left. This was, oh man, this was a great trade. This is a trendline break trade too. Like, this was good. This was a good trade. But then also working on taking more contracts. Like, I need to take 2 contracts. At least 2. 2. Not just 1, I need 2. This is another good trade. So this was, yeah, like 500 just on MNQ. That's freaking awesome. This was rolling this Amazon bag down. What a bag. Problem is though, is I rolled the strike down, which I can kind of technically do, but then I'm only breaking even. So that sucks. But breaking even's better than going broke, so, you know, if that bag is taken away from me, I don't really care. I really don't. Like, you can take any bag you want right now. Take it at even. Take my bags away, please. This is a roll. Yeah, this was a roll. Put. This was a short put. I think I put another one on. So I put another short put on. I have a strangle now. Covered strangle on IBIT. What was this one? This was short. Was this a put? What's this? Oh, vertical. It's my fucking vertical. Jesus. This thing. Maybe I sold one or bought one back. Ugh. I mean, I think I sold it on an up day. But I don't know. We'll see. This one's probably gonna get a little squirrely. So we're gonna see on that one. Another MNQ trade. This was long. Did I give it a reason? It was just above VWAP. Okay, so it was a VWAP trade, which I'm liking my own VWAP trades. I do like those. So going long above VWAP, going short below. That's kind of what that works pretty well on TQQQ. Like VWAP works really well. It seemed to work really well on those levered products. I can't say that it works for every, and also like the trend lines for the indices seem to be more support and resistance. Like taking the breakouts, not as reliable. Not as reliable. I need to put more data behind that though. I need to put some real numbers behind. So I have to go back through another. Let's write that down right now. Something I have to do is really streamline my tags. I need to really streamline my trading tags in my journal. I can't spell journal. There we go. So like the main trades that I do are VWAP trades. I do trade news. I have that one on there. So this is above or below VWAP. And then time frame. And then I don't know how much I want to do trend line, because technically, like if you look at the data, because of that Trump trade this month, it looks like it's profitable, but it has the lowest probability of profit. So that one's about 40%. Not the greatest on the trend lines. And I think, again, I trade most of the indices. I don't trade commodities. I'm not trading crude or anything, right? I haven't traded that in a minute. I think the trend lines work really well. They probably work better for commodities than they do for the indices. The indices, they tend to be support and resistance. But if you can get movement above the VWAP, that's really important. That seems to be a better indicator. Like if you can get above VWAP or you can retest VWAP, there's a play off of VWAP. At least for me is what I see. Primary tags. Primary trade tags. Okay. Where are we at with time? Okay, about a half an hour or so left. Don't want to work out today too bad, so there we go. We're looking at the trades. And again, really work on my entries. So like, you know, above VWAP, and then your stop is just a little bit below, or when it goes down, it's just a little bit above. Don't be afraid. Like sometimes you are going to be, like I think Friday was like this. It was like I had a bias to go long, and then all of a sudden it flips and goes short, and then it does back and forth. You have to be really careful about that. When you start to see that, oh, it can't really go one direction, then you're probably just going to get chopped up. You don't need to be chopped up more than once. This was like long shares. This is a gap up. It's probably above VWAP. Yeah. I didn't really give it the opportunity. Then see how choppy it was? I just wish this was not always in the freaking 1 minute. Like, yeah, and then you see I kind of just got chopped up. I wanted to fill the gap. So like on these big gap ups, like wait for it to come back into the gap. You know, wait for that. That's a better time to enter than just entering right off the open. Like just wait for this. Like entering at 47 and then getting out at 53 is way better. Or even when it gets back above VWAP here. You know, if you have a big gap and it doesn't fill it and it goes back up again, just ride that back up. GLD. I guess I got out even on that one. What was I doing? Did I take shares? Like, what was this? Oh, vertical. Okay. I don't know why I got scared there. This was my roll. So we'll see how this goes. Covered call. I don't know why it says long. It's just weird when they're put on and then they... This was probably the call vertical, bear call vertical, which fucking kill me, but that's okay. What this one? This is a 35 put. I don't have any TQQQ positions open. Maybe this one hasn't fully closed yet or something. I don't know what this one is. This is the 25th again, kind of chopped. It just went long. This is when I went short. And then this was probably overnight. Yeah, this was an overnight trade. Oh, no, wait, this is the 22nd. Just slammed right back down. This is a put spread. Alright, that was my put spread in gold. So there's a chance of being chopped up. I gotta be careful. I'm up on the month, so I want to keep it that way. This is really cool. I think I'm like my whole account just like a couple more trades away from being completely even. And a lot of this has, again, like the book. I gotta finish that book. One good trade. Actually, I finished one good trade. I have to finish the playbook. It's just that there's Liberation Day when I went short. I should have taken 2 contracts. Should have had 2 contracts, yo. But the situations were not conducive to that, so so looking at the chart, looking at my trades, You know, I think trend is your friend. I think really focus in on that VWAP trade. I may have to balance out my triple Q trade with something, so I need to strategize around that, like selling put, make it an iron condor, basically, to offset it. Receive some more credit and offset whatever the hell is gonna happen with that. I know the market is like dying for good news, so really anything good around tariffs or the war in Ukraine or anything that would just send the market soaring. And again, I don't think earnings will be bad. What's going to cause companies to take a hit is their guidance. What's going on out there? Okay. But overall, we don't want to screw up the progress for the month, so we do need to be, you know, just steady Eddie. Let's do another one like this, though. Let's have another day like that. Let's do it, chat. What do we need to be careful about, though? What should we watch? So we need to watch our positions. We need to watch our position size. Everything has earnings. So, like, Amazon has earnings. I mean, I have my covered call in place. It's not... It's all the way out to August. So, I don't know that there's anything to do there. It's not really worth buying a put because all of the volatility gets sucked out of it. It's sucked dry, and then you end up just... That has never really worked very well for me. So I'm probably not going to do that. Leave it alone. If it goes up, then maybe my shares get called away. If I can't do that because I have a covered call. So I don't really need to. I'll make money on that call and then I'll just roll it down again. We'll be selling calls till we die, chat. So I think the day trading bias is probably to the upside. It kind of depends on earnings. Let's just take a look at who's going next week. I think what we can do is we need to... So I do need to manage positions as I can. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe just spread off that triple Q play. So, okay. And then Let's go ahead and just take a look at it. We'll take a look at earnings. Boom, look at this one. Lots and lots and lots and lots. Ooh, maybe we could buy some waste management. Let's go. Waste management after the bell. Then we got SoFi. Spotify. Wish I could have bought Spotify back in the day. Man. But you always gotta be on the look for the new thing, you know? Like, you can't just... That's the other thing I gotta focus on this year. Is like, what's the next thing? Like, what is the next app? What is the next thing? Is it all AI? Is it the stuff built on top of AI? I would buy Visa any day of the week. So if this falls down, like, this could be another option for me. So like watching Visa, you know, what are people gonna, people are still gonna spend money. So they're probably gonna keep their Spotify, you know, the small luxuries. Like, what are the small luxuries that people can have? That's Netflix, it's Spotify. It's their Hulu subscription. Fubo is supposed to be bought by Disney. Like, maybe there's something there. Like, what are those small things that people can still do? Copy the image. Go ahead and save it down here because it's a big earnings week. It's basically, this is it. Like, this is the show. This is the show this week. There's more. This is just a few of them. This isn't everybody. This is just like of interest. But this will move the market. This is the week the market moves. You know, or maybe it just stays in, like I said, Iron Condor. Yeah, I should look to spread off that Q thing. I don't... Oh man, it's such a big loss right now. But spreading it off is the only way to undo some of that risk. Let's take a look at the news as it is right now. Let's go ahead and take a quick look. Do a quick reload. The dollar's still coming down. That's not great. That also means that when the dollar comes down, it's not as strong. Prices aren't as inflated. So like even with tariffs and stuff, you might see asset deflation if the dollar keeps going down. And then we're looking at bonds. Okay. So we got to watch the bond market. We got to watch the dollar. So maybe I could put that in my daily watch here. So we have the bonds. Probably don't need all these ETFs because I don't really trade them. Probably keep spying the Qs. Let's do DX1. Which I guess is kind of more the euro. It's not really the dollar. You have to do slash, dude. What's this down here? 21. That's been lower. Okay. And then I think this is like raising the interest rates and then kind of pulls back. And then we're probably going to be cutting, so it'll probably come back down. How do you trade this? That's interesting. Figure out how to trade this. Let me go ahead and save this. And then I also need to make new flexible grids. So we need our May flexible grids. Man, we're already in May. We're already in May, chat. Crazy. Okay. Alright, what else we got here? This looking chat. What's this one? Smart glasses to display out this year at a new and new details. Oh yeah, that will be interesting. Listen to what they have to say about moving everything to India. Further behind its peers, blah blah blah. Nothing really here. There's like an interview here. A third of the US demand. I don't know, man. I don't know. So much uncertainty. Anyway, general upward bias for the week. We'll see. That's why I'm not like just jumping to take off my short trades. Like, just spread them off, you know, and like figure out maybe a way to do iron condors. Like, those suck, but you could take off. You don't have to treat it as one trade. You can, you know, as things become profitable, you take certain sizes of it off or sides of it off. These headlines don't scream confidence to me, and it's like, I think the glasses can be something, but I mean, at least for me, like the headsets, they don't work because I get headaches. So I'm not the best judge of like how popular that's gonna be, because literally I can't use them. I don't know how the glasses do, because sometimes I think it would be cool to like have something you can record real quick, or like you can see things, but then it's like, you know, I'm already so distracted. I'm so distracted already, and my brain fills up with stuff, and the more you fill it up with stuff, your brain can only do so much, and it's like you get it to a certain point, it's like it's not going to take in any more information, and you need to save your brain power for the good information, not the bad information. And like, fill it with junk, and then you can't do anything good. You know, I think all that other stuff is like, it's just noise. Like, you don't need a constant feed. Like, you don't need that. It just like contributes to being distracted and not being able to focus on the issue at hand. So, I mean, unless I was forced to use it for a job or something, but the price that you pay for these, like, I would probably do an Apple Watch over a set of glasses and goggles for sure. And I know that I can't use like the Vision Pro and the MetaQuest. I can't do those because I get headaches from them. This article is not very positive. This article does not instill certainty in me, okay? Just reading through little bits and pieces of it there. Oh yeah, and then we gotta look for a new pope. That's the other thing we gotta look for this week. So again, thinking about hedging my risk, reduce where I can. Generally bullish, probably for the week. So day trading, probably looking for longs. We'll see. Still a lot of uncertainty. Overall, I think prices are increasing, which is going to squeeze people even more, even if you make a lot of money. Paying more for everything. And ultimately, I don't know that that's great. And consumer sentiment, I think, creeped up a teeny tiny bit, but still not also great. And I think too, like, you're going to see some things where like, oh, it looks like people are buying stuff, but some of that data is lagging. So they were buying stuff before the tariffs. So like if these tariffs hit, they haven't even hit yet. We're talking about something that hasn't even happened yet. And people are going to start to feel it though if it does. What kind of stuff do we have going on this week? So Monday, no big news. Market will probably just drift up. Tuesdays when earnings starts, we also get jolts in consumer confidence, so that's going to be a red flag in the market. Wednesday, I have non-farm payroll, GDP, which could probably be big. Well, I don't know if that'll take into account like the tariffs and stuff, so we'll see what that does. Ooh, then we have PCE. Ooh, inflation. Let's go. Bank of Japan. That could be market moving. That could be in the overnight. Thursday, earnings, big earnings. And then we have unemployment claims and ISM manufacturing. Friday, non-farm payroll, unemployment. So what do we want to see for non-farm? I mean, basically you want to see that jobs aren't freaking destroyed. But if they are, that might mean the Fed will cut sooner? I don't know. If jobs completely fall off a cliff, they might. I think the only real stories that drive the market this week are Trump and earnings. Well, we get more clarity on how these companies are working around the tariffs or thinking about the tariffs. My goal is going to be to listen to at least one earnings call. So let's make that a goal. Let's listen to one earning, at least one. And I have Amazon, so I should probably listen to Amazon. Listen to earnings call. And who else might be interesting? Like these companies, honestly, like Meta isn't totally affected by the tariffs unless they start to do like service tariffs. It's like, what are those small luxuries that people are going to hold on to? They're going to hold on to their Spotify. They're going to hold on to their Amazon Prime. They're going to hold on to those things, and like Netflix. So I wonder if I should like, you know, any pullback in like, I know Netflix is expensive, but like just those things that people aren't going to let go of. You know, like they might let go of travel and they might let go of this, but they're not going to let go of their music. They're not going to let go of their movies. You know, listening to audiobooks, people aren't going to give that up. Those are those small luxuries. They're also going to keep paying for their medications, and all of those things like healthcare. You know, people are going to do that. But I think these will be important calls to listen to. Maybe even that Starbucks call with the new CEO. That could be interesting, and see what they're going to do and like how tariffs affect them. And they also have kind of the added thing of like they deal with food, so that's a little bit different too. Yeah. So I guess for me, I am still somewhat uncertain. I guess ultimately I think in the bigger picture of things, prices will go up. So thinking about things where, you know, longer term, rest of the year, you know, what are people not willing to give up? And I think we've already talked about that. You know, I think that people will probably stop buying those unnecessary things or really think about their spending. So maybe Amazon's not the best thing to be in right now. It's like, who can give you the best price? Probably Walmart can. And you're just going to go back down to the necessities. You're going to be just buying like, you know, food and basic things. Maybe saving more money instead of spending money. You know, that might be, you know, that might come more into focus moving forward. So for my trades next week, I need to think about lowering my risk. I need to think about spreading off that triple Q play. I can day trade Monday. I can day trade. I can day trade Monday. I can day trade Tuesday, and maybe Friday. But Wednesday, Thursday, I can't because I'll be traveling. So that'll be kind of sad. But again, it's not really necessary to trade. But I can keep looking at the markets and make sure I reduce my risk. And then think about future opportunities. So I guess with that said, like, let's just take a look at things that have already had earnings. If we're looking at, you know, trying to find some opportunities. We want to go to April 25th. PM. Hit go. All right, let's take a look. So that's 1,000, 100, 100,000, 100 million. So 3 billion? $300 billion. And then financials have been up. So like maybe don't discount finance. But look at this downtrend though, yo. Like we peaked and then we had 1, 2, head, shoulders, neckline break. We'll come back above it, but it has to hold here, I think. But don't discount financials. I think look in financials. Look there. This is kind of the missed trade of the year. Something very simple. You talk about simple trades, like right there. I don't get why Pepsi has such a hard time. Well, I guess too, maybe something, I don't know why they don't do very well. I don't. I think medical devices were like exempt from tariffs or something. There's something around medical devices. Yeah, I like Boston Scientific. I always had kind of a bullish bias on this company, especially with like robotics and stuff. Like, it's supposed to be medical equipment, but we'll think about Boston Scientific. I think that goes back on the watch list. We'll think about a thesis around that. So about even on the air here. I don't know why that one can't get off itself either. It just can't. Hmm. 3M's pretty cool. I wish Netflix wasn't I wish they would break up their stock like everybody else has done. Hanging on, man. We're hanging on. So Boston Scientific, RTX, I'm interested in those. Travel's probably going to take a hit for the rest of the year. We'll come back and revisit that next year. Kind of at a standstill right now. I'm gonna have to go back through and look at some things. I mean, I think it's always worth just going back to what this showed us here. So, you know, SMH, XLK, so our tech is doing okay for the week. Probably will keep doing well. Tesla will probably keep doing well. Amazon's earnings are probably fine. So we're looking at like XLC, XLF. I think we need to go back through and look at items in there. And see who survives earnings. Do I want to do anything with gold? That might be something to see too. Let's take a look at... I think as long as this uncertainty is in place, this will just keep doing well. Maybe it pulls back to here. It's probably a buy if it got back to here. You know, if all of the uncertainty goes away, then it goes down. But I don't know that that's true yet. And I think as long as, you know, maybe people are losing confidence in the dollar, or where do you put your money? You take it out of the dollar, you put it into gold. And you wait. You wait and you wait and you wait. Gold and Netflix, let's go. I don't know that I want to short gold. I feel like I would wait until... I don't know what I would do here with gold. Like a call spread on gold? I don't know. Put spread? I don't know what you do up here. What does the hourly look? I don't know. Maybe call spreads until it gets down to it's like 200 or something? Or this kind of has to meet price. Like either price has to come down here or it needs to meet price. And then I think there's a trade in gold. So I don't know if there's a trade in gold this week for me. But I'll think about it. But I think that's all I can do for now. I gotta take a quick break and then kind of mesh everything together and make my trading plan for the week. But we went over the index levels, we went over the trade, or we went over the best performing stocks, the worst performing stocks by market cap, Looked at my trades. It was a decent week. Need to keep that going. I did that by selling puts in TQQQ. You know, maybe that's what the trade is this week too. Maybe we're doing the same thing. But basically, I need to make sure I reduce risk, possibly spread off my QQQ trade. Lots and lots of earnings. So be careful out there. Watch your positions. Make sure you know what is coming up for you. I have Amazon coming up for me. So keep an eye on that. And then we'll be looking at how these perform, trying to listen to a couple earnings, and then getting that quarter app on my phone so that I can review earnings as well. And some other goals, longer term goals, is to fix the trade tags in TradesViz. That, and then streamline the tags in my journal. I want to also really keep in mind, risk management, and don't enter at the top of bars, don't enter at the bottom of bars. Look for ideal entries and risk management this week. But I think that's all I have for this week. Also looking at the dollar, looking at bonds, seeing where those go, see how that story unfolds throughout the week. But I think that's all I have for now. Thank you for stopping by, and remember, this is for educational, informational purposes only, not intended to be advice or a recommendation. But if you like what you see, make sure to like, subscribe, heart, wherever platform you are watching this on. And I thank you for stopping by, and have a safe and profitable